Hi guys, thank you so much. Welcome to Girls for STEM, guys. Thank you so much for coming to this channel. We really do appreciate, guys. And remember, we are here to encourage girls pursue STEM. We are here to acknowledge other scientists who have navigated this sector, and we are here to encourage the girls to to be exposed to the endeavors. And guys, we have interesting guests here all the time. The reason why we bring in guests here is to showcase how these scientists and engineers are navigating science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So, guys, thank you so much for coming to Girls for STEM to watch Girls for STEM. And we're going to start with the first guest, guys. We have a doctor, guys. So, 1 second, let's just bring her up. Hi, Dr. Chipasha. Thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate. I know you guys are busy, and I don't know right now you might be, attending to some patients, but I really do appreciate for you to come to this channel to talk to us. Thank you so much. And please, I would like you to introduce yourself.
All right. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me here.
Yes,
So, I'm Dr. Matpisa Elizabeth. You
yes,
can call me Dr. Lizzie
yes,
because most people fail to pronounce my surname. So, mostly people call me Dr. Lizzie. So, I'm a doctor.
yes.
I'm based at Ndola Teaching Hospital, doing my internship, but
Mhm.
almost done with my internship. I'm only
Yes.
remaining with 2 months to be done with the internship. And I'm a general
Wow.
doctor for now. Yes.
Wow. That's so interesting. Thank you so much for that introduction. So, Dr. Mashipisa, Dr. Mashipisa, I have to make sure I pronounce it correctly.
That's why I say you can use Liz. You find it very difficult to pronounce my surname.
And you know what I do when people mispronounce my name? I tell them I'll charge you 50 cents. Each time you make a mistake, I charge you 50 cents and I'll send the bill.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, Dr. Mashipisa, how did you start your STEM to be a doctor? Where did it start? Did your parents talk about being in a doctor when you were young, or or did you just figure it out that you wanted to be a doctor? So the reason I ask most of my guests here, it's because each guest is unique the way the way it all started. So we would like to hear how people are navigating STEM, and this also gives an opportunity for our young kids that are trying to pursue science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to see that what they can as well do it. So how did it start?
Okay, so I was brought up by mostly my mom's relatives. Those are my
Yes,
aunties.
yes,
So from a very tender age, I was brought up with my aunties,
yes.
my mom's young sister, and the
Hmm.
husband was a clinical officer.
Wow.
So we stayed at the clinic, I think, for almost like 4 years. So most
Wow.
of the times, I think it's usually what they say about when you say something, like mostly when
Yes,
parents keep saying, because most of the times we'll be like, you know what, you would be a doctor, you're going to be a doctor. And mostly because I used to stay at the clinic, I would see him wear the coat, I would probably see patients there. So mostly it came from there, and that was at a very young age. So I think it started when I was very young, and from then I've always been like, okay, I'm going to be a doctor. Even when I started doing medicine, I entered into CBU first year, because
yes,
first year you're not yet quoted into medicine or any other category. So when they
yes,
told me, okay, you know what, you'd have to choose like first option medicine, then you need to put a second option. I
yes.
literally refused to put a second option. So what I
Are
did
you
was I put
serious?
medicine. I put medicine for my first option, and I put medicine for my second option as well. So I
You
think it's
were really
something that,
serious.
yeah, so it's something that I've always wanted to do, and also motivated by my uncle who was a clinical officer, and from what I saw. So it's something that I've grown up wanting to do.
Wow. So do you remember how old were you when you were thinking when you were seeing that? How old were you?
I think I should have been somewhere 9, 10 years old.
Wow, guys, you see, she was about 9, 10, and the environment around her was conducive for her to spark that idea, to ignite that idea that she would like to be a doctor. So, you know what, Doc, I always talk about how parents should provide that environment where
Mhm.
they are, an environment that can trigger a kid to either be an engineer, a scientist, a technologist, just to provide that environment, especially for parents. We really need to provide that environment. For example, there was another engineer, he's a student. He was saying he used to watch something on Discovery Channel. So when he
Ah,
was watching that, that sparked his interest. I was like, whoa. So, guys, as parents, we really need to make sure we can provide that environment for our kids so that they can, pursue science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So, then what happened after that? How did it now get into medicine? Are you talking to people around you that you want to be a doctor or what?
so when I completed grade 12, yeah, so I had to go to university, of course, and because I already knew what I wanted to do, so I
Hmm.
used to work towards that. And when I got into medicine, I got to have somebody to mentor me. So
Yes,
I have someone who's a pediatrician who's
yes.
always mentoring me, and I have
Hmm.
other friends who have done very well in the medical field who are also mentoring me, but mostly it's the pediatrician because, in as much as I've done general medicine, I've
Hmm.
always loved to do pediatrics. So I would like to move from general medicine and specialize in pediatrics because that's something that I really feel like I love and
Yes.
would be very happy to do.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Doc. You just emphasize the point that I always talk about, that, we need to have role models in our lives. Unfortunately, I didn't have a role model when I was doing my career in engineering, to see somebody who looks like me or somebody who has done this career before. And I was fortunate to have professors around me. Men actually mentored me. And sometimes men talk about, okay, Sonia, send those for STEM. Maybe we're not part of it. I always challenge them. I said, no, I was mentored by men. So men are also part of this. So it's very important that our kids have a role model, just like you are saying, someone to mentor you, someone to look up to. And also, it's easier to see other people who have done it so that you can really, really get inspired or see the variety of the professional, especially career, which one you want to take.
Yeah.
That
So
really just nails it. Go ahead.
yeah, so even when you talk about mentorship, because I have my cousin. So
Yes.
because she's seen me, like we used to stay together, so she's seen me go to school and do
Yes.
medicine and eventually become a doctor. She's also
Mm-hmm.
headed for the same route. So mostly she's even, no
See,
matter how
see,
much you tell
guys.
her, if you tell
Yes.
her to say, you know what, you have sleepless nights, she's just like, I don't care. I just want to be like you. I just want to wear
Really?
what you're wearing. I want to
Oh
be in the
my
hospital and see
God.
patients. Yeah,
Yes.
so she's doing her
And
first year.
where is your stethoscope, Doc? I always envy
Oh,
that. Please show
let
us.
me just
I always envy that stethoscope.
I yeah, so mostly it's more pediatrics than anything else.
Wow, wow,
Yeah,
wow,
so
wow.
yeah.
Wow, that is so nice. See, when we are when we showcase our career, guys, especially in engineering, very engineers and doctors, they don't talk about their career thinking, oh, maybe you're boasting too much, because they want to label us engineers, doctors, like we are not people, like we are just those people. No, we are just human beings, and we want to talk about this to encourage girls, young boys, everyone, to pursue science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And see, when kids see people like us, then they say, wow, I want to be like her. I want to be like that. I work for space mission, space systems, and I love space systems, and I want to showcase to the young ones that they too can be an engineer and they can work for space missions. So that's really interesting. I really do appreciate, Doc. So, Doc, I have one question. So, what are the challenges that you've had during your STEM career coming to where you are? What are some of the challenges that you've encountered?
So medicine. It's a very, very funny journey. So this is let's say grade 12, right? You have
Yes.
very good results and you're so sure, okay, if I go to university, I'm going to be getting A pluses. But
Yes.
the medical field, and I guess engineering field or technology field should be almost the same.
Yes.
So it's hard. So you come to a point where when you're in grade 12, an A
Uh-huh.
plus was like, oh yes, I just have to get A pluses. But once you're in medical school, your focus becomes, okay, I just need to pass my exam because this is so hard. So
I
sometimes you get
remember.
into depression because you're not
Yes.
used to maybe getting low marks. You're used to getting high marks,
Yes.
but now you're in school and in a class, maybe you find that having those low marks is actually okay as long as you've passed. So it's a
Yes.
little bit challenging, it's a little bit
Mhm.
depressing, but mostly having friends around, study
Yes.
groups as well. And
Mhm.
if you can have a mentor, somebody that you can easily go and talk to say, okay, you know what? I had this exam, I feel like this, I feel like I can't do it anymore. You always have people who will
Yes.
talk to you to say, you know what? You've come a long way. You can
Mhm.
do this. If this person did it, you can also do it. There's nothing hard for you not to do.
Wow. My next question, I wanted to ask you that what drives you, and you've just answered that. That's really, really interesting. Thank you so much. And the other question I wanted to ask you is, and guys, my viewers, each person, each guest has got a unique story, different stories, guys. The reason we want to hear from different people, it's because we want to see ourselves in some of these people, and just to encourage that, especially women, that we can do it. Here we are, women, pursuing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So guys, encourage the young ones, encourage women. I did my STEM at a very late age. I didn't do STEM right away due to so many reasons, privileges back home in Zambia, and just so many things. But you can enter STEM, remember, guys, at any point. You can change your career and do anything you want. So, Doc, the other question I wanted to ask you is, knowing that there are different privileges and different opportunities in different countries. So, what would you say to a girl growing up today? How can they enter into STEM? Can they pursue science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, knowing that there are different types of resources around us and opportunities?
Mm, yeah, so for, I don't know about elsewhere, but mostly for a place like a developing country like Zambia, so most of the times, most girls will fail to maybe going to school or university because of financial reasons. But
Yes,
like now, we have a lot of organizations that actually support girl children when it
yes,
comes to education. So all I would say is all you need is focus, and there'll always be someone out there who's willing to help. For example, I did my medicine on a bursary, on a full scholarship, full government bursary. I'm sure if not for the bursary,
correct.
probably I wouldn't have the suit. Yeah, so all you need is to focus. Financial issues or scholarships, usually you just come in if you're hardworking. There's always someone out there to help. And there are a lot of opportunities for females, especially because people are trying to encourage girl children to enter into STEM.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Wow, wow. Thank you so much. And so, what is your next step from here, Doc, in your career? What are you trying
So
to specialize into?
I'm excited.
Uh-huh.
I'm excited that I'm almost done with my internship. So it means that's another step.
Yes,
I'm probably going to
yes,
start something else. So I love pediatrics. Personally, I love pediatrics. I would like to get into pediatrics, but I also love public health.
yes,
So I want to do a master's in
yes,
public health. Then I can also specialize in a
yes.
master's in pediatrics. Yeah. So
Wow,
yeah,
wow.
those
Thank
two
you so
routes.
much. Wow, that's really interesting. Thank you so much. I know, Doc, we are at the hospital right now, and you just came in to come and spend some time with us. I really do appreciate. I know most of my guests are very, very busy, and it's not easy. I do appreciate, and I would like to have you again to see, how it's going and what you're doing. Please come again and visit us.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Guys, so that was Dr. Mashipisa. I always make a mistake. I think she's going to charge me for making a mistake pronouncing her name. Please forgive me. But I'll get used to it. That means you should be coming more, Doc, on our channel so that we can see you again. Thank you so much. Guys, that was very interesting. So, she's a doctor. She's just about to graduate. She's doing her internship. And guys, so encourage our girls. They can be anything they want. And remember what she was saying. She was saying she was exposed to medicine around her. Her relatives was doing clinical office. So that's where she saw it. So that's why, guys, I always talk about having an environment where you can encourage your kids to pursue science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So, guys, I have some more guests. So I'm going to bring Danielle Solis, and let's hear from her how she navigated her STEM. Hi, Danielle. I think you're muted. Hi, Danielle. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for coming.
Nice to see everybody. That was an incredible story. I've been a fan of your show for some time. I've been seeing your YouTube live streams.
Thank you so much that I can see it's impacting lives and people. I really do appreciate coming. I know you are also busy pursuing engineering, but let me not preempt um, your your story. So please introduce yourself. I'm so excited to have you, and I know how much you've been supportive to me. I have noticed for quite some time. I really do appreciate, and you're going to be an engineer. Kudos to you. So introduce yourself, Solis. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm currently a junior at Cal State University Los Angeles.
Yes.
And I'm pursuing mechanical engineering.
Yes.
Similar to what I've heard from your story, I got into engineering pretty later into
So we
my
are many,
degree.
right?
Yeah, I was actually a senior for economics, studying
Wow.
economics, and
Yes.
then I got into a program called NCAS, or NASA Community College Aerospace Scholars.
Yes.
And that's how I got the first experience of what engineering was, and it just kind of went
Wow.
from there. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's really interesting. Wow. You know what? It's amazing. I've seen maybe in my lifetime about 3, 4 people now, and it's interesting. They switched from psych. I have a friend of mine, psychology, I think psychology to electrical engineering. And I've seen another one from Zambia. I think he did pursue something else, but he really wanted to pursue it. But you know how sometimes you have challenges, and then he switched, and they finally became engineer. Guys, it's a very lucrative career, guys. If you can switch. It's hard to go through it, but it's doable. We did it. We were not like it's something that is really out of no, but it's something that you guys can do. So go ahead, Solis, to introduce yourself.
Yeah, I think it's been an awesome experience. I gotta
Yes.
say, I love the uh, community. I see some of my friends on here. Hello.
Yes, say hi. Feel free to say hi. Here is an interaction. We do interact with each other. If you want to say hi, to say whatever you guys feel free to comment. You guys ask questions.
Yeah, I
So
love the community, how everyone helps. At least from my experience, I've also had mentors be so generous, and
yes,
friends who so involving in each other's endeavors with whatever it was, like in STEM, if it was engineering or science.
yes,
Um,
yes.
I love that it's growing. I hope it
Yes, yes,
continues to grow.
yes. So, Danielle, I have a very good question. So, I always ask this question on my guests because I always said this each guest has got a different story. So, how did your STEM start? I know it started a little bit early. So, during when you were young, did you think about it or no until you did economics? So, can you just tell us how it all started?
Yeah, I know that as a child, I did have interest in STEM. Mostly when I would visit science museums in around here, that's when I got my first taste of what like STEM is.
Yes.
But I took a more traditional route with my studies, uh, mostly because I did not. There's kind of that imposter syndrome where you don't think you could do something that's a hard major.
Yes, I had it myself. I had it even when I was there. I was like, am I supposed to be here? I don't think so. Yeah, it came, it used to come like that. And then I realized, but they selected me. So I hear that a lot of people do go through that, and some people just fall off just like that.
Yeah, I've it's always so important to be that person of encouragement to others, even when you least expect to give them support, because a lot of these things happen in the background, so it seems like they're quietly thinking to themselves that they might not make it, or maybe they shouldn't be studying this. So it's
Yes,
kind of always cheering them on. I know it's been that way in particular as I am a teacher's assistant at the moment.
yes.
So I
Wow.
interact with little kids and
Yes,
encourage them through their studies. It's it You see them later on like carrying on by themselves, being more comfortable with the math and the
yes.
science, and they start to realize, wow, I can do this. So it's awesome. I honestly love it so much.
And they get excited. Yeah, that's really, really nice. So how was it when you finally jumped in the wagon of engineering? How was it? How did you react?
I took it a step at a time. I was just thinking to myself, well, let's see how this goes.
Yes.
And out of genuine interest and curiosity, that propelled me into the next step, until eventually now I've transferred over and I've done other programs related to NASA. And so,
Wow.
including an internship actually most recently. And that was an experience. Um, I'm very grateful for that one.
With being satisfying, right? Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Guys, you can enter STEM at any time. You can change. All you need is the passion. If the opportunity allows, guys, go for it. You will never regret. STEM is a very lucrative career. This is where you can practice what you want to be, and you are comfortable whether you fail, because you are able to learn more. This is the own career that you can practice that feeling, because failing is not something that shows like you are not, or you failed, that's the end of thing. No, it just shows that now you've learned the other way that doesn't work. So it's a very, very good career, and it just gives you that that encouragement, and just you keep going, that drive. Wow, that's so interesting. So what exactly are you planning to venture in your career? Do you have I know you're a mechanical engineer. Do you have a specific career path you want to go through, or?
Yeah, I'm very interested in avionics. It's tied to mechatronics, if
Yes.
uh, folks are familiar.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, I love the blend of the two. I spend, although my classes don't have a lot of electrical engineering in it, I
Yes.
do spend some time kind of building some circuits on my own and
Really?
learning about them.
You should come and show us some of the circuits you're doing one of these days, so
Yeah,
we
I would
can
love
see.
to.
Yeah, sure.
A tour.
Please come and share with us, like, whatever you're doing, just to show the girls, what else they can do. Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, my other question I wanted to ask is, yeah, so United States, me and you, we are very privileged on resources that we have. and other countries, developing countries. And on this platform, we are encouraging girls the whole world because we need each other. You never know where that engineer genius is going to come from. Look at Elon Musk. Where does he come from? So we're trying to encourage girls the whole world because we might meet somewhere as scientists, as doctors, as technologists, as engineers, as healthcare professionals, and we can make the world a better place. So there are different resources that they have around the world. What would you say to girls growing up right now? How can they venture into STEM? Can they?
Oh, yes, there's no doubt about the capabilities and the potential that there is for any single individual. I know for growing up, I was not given those kinds of words of encouragement of like, you're great at math, you should be an engineer. Like, I didn't hear that growing up. But if you have an interest, take it upon yourself to stick with it. However you can, I don't know everyone's particular situation, but be fearless in the way that you try to find those resources to get yourself educated. You really don't know where your path can take you, and it's been an awesome journey. And I know that for many individuals, what you learn is beyond is incredible.
So Vanessa is saying he would love to see those circuits. So get ready, girl. You need to come and show us some of those circuits. Would love to. I really want to see that, showcase some of our artwork that we can do. you know.
Yeah.
So, guys, Daniela is a mechanical engineer student. She is in STEM. You can do STEM as well. So she's here. If you haven't, if you are just coming in, please make sure you watch behind where we discussed how she came up and when she joined her STEM. So there are different levels that you can join STEM. She says she was doing economics, guys. So that's her. So thank you so much, Danielle, for coming here. I really do appreciate. And if I would give you a few minutes to say something, what would you say, regardless of the show, Girls for STEM, anything? So I'll give you some few minutes to say anything.
Yeah, I'm open to supporting anyone. If you guys find me on mostly LinkedIn, same name on here. I'm continue to be such a fan of this show, and I encourage all of you in your endeavors with STEM. Keep going. Honestly, I think you guys can do so amazing. So thank you for bringing me on.
Thank you. I do appreciate, and my viewers do really appreciate. We need to showcase role models. The reason is I didn't have that opportunity to see someone who's pursuing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Number one, I didn't see someone who looks like me, who does STEM. And I would like to show the girls, different cultures, how they can see that there are other people doing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics from all over the world. This gives them a good understanding and say, whoa, so we can do it. There are those that don't have their role models. So thank you so much. We look forward to hearing from you and to see those circuits. Please come again. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you guys.
Thank you. Wow, guys, that was Danielle. She's a student pursuing science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And it's good to see students, especially female, who are still going through STEM. And thank you so much. So I have another guest I'm going to bring you guys. Guys, the viewers that I bring here, they're quite so busy and he's at work. So I just want to bring him so he can go back to work. And we have another special guest after him, guys. So stick around. We are going to have so much fun. So I'm going to bring Chen Ye. Hi, Chen Ye. How are
Hi,
you? How are
Kirsten.
you doing?
I'm good. Good. Can you hear me okay?
I
Yeah.
can hear you sound
Thank
and
you.
clear.
Thank you for having me here. I've been big fan of the show, and definitely I'm humbled by all the guests that you had, all their stories and stuff. So I'm hoping I can contribute just as much to to the
Yes,
mission.
yes, yes, yes. Oh, I'm so excited to have you. I know you're very busy, and today, you just took time to come and hang around with us. I really do appreciate. You know what? Before I preempt, the viewers always love to hear my guest story. So I would like you to introduce yourself before I preempt anything.
Sure. No. So my name is Chen Ye. I think the most significant part of STEM was the I got my bachelor's in electrical engineering at CSU Northridge. I also got my master's there in manufacturing systems engineering there. Now, I've worked a few different jobs as a technician, but I think in the last couple of years, I really made a big step in my career where I became a quality engineer. So, definitely, it's probably been the most biggest achievement, in my career. It's might not sound like much, but for a lot of our stories, we're coming from first generation, families in here, or first kids to go to college. That's for us, it's no matter how small, it's a big achievement for us all.
Wow, tell me about it. I come from also from Zambia originally,
Hmm.
and I was not privileged to become an engineer. I have so many things to be thankful in the United States for giving me this opportunity to become an engineer and to work for one of the biggest companies here in the United States. I really, really do appreciate. I have no words, and just even the people I've surrounded myself with, you know, I understand what you're saying, and yeah. So let's dive into. Thank you so much, Chain. So I wanted to ask something, Chain. So how did your story start about being in STEM? How did it start? Let's go back when you were young, 5 years. Um, you know, around that time, what was going on in your mind? Did your parents talk about it, or how did it start?
So definitely, there's a lot of factors in it, and I think it's not until now when I'm a lot older that I think you start to see like where the pieces kind of fit in all together, in a picture. So as a kid, I think every kid's got like a natural ability for curiosity. In my
Yes,
case, you're always wondering how things work. Even if it's just like one particular thing. For example, as a kid, I had this obsession with washing machines. I think it
yes,
was it was just it was amazing to see how dirty clothes go in and dirty clothes come out, and see there's a machine takes care of it all. So
yes,
anytime when my parents, we went to a Sears hardware store or a mall, the first thing I did was I ran toward the washing machine section, and I was happy, when a store had a good, like a wide variety of selection. I was kind of bummed
yes,
out when they didn't have like a small selection. I was like, this wasn't too much fun to look at. But
yes,
so that kind of curiosity and that
mhm,
idea of wanting to know how things work, that's that to me was like a small part of what became on my path on STEM.
yes,
And I'll be honest too. You'll hear this a lot probably. The more I talk, is I was not a very good high achieving student per se, not compared to my sisters or who are much more studious and stuff. But
yes,
for example, in arithmetic in elementary school, that was easily probably one of my worst subjects too. And but later on, it became one of my most how should you say, most preferred subjects. And what it
yes,
was is that you know my mom, she stayed up late at night, make sure that we counted in Chinese. We have these green beans they're called mung beans.
yes,
And I would stay up just to count them all. So it was. And later on, the more work you put into it, the more you got used to seeing it, and the more you got accustomed to it. You can do it
yes,
more quickly. And
yes,
the same thing happened, when it came to the multiplication table, the division
yes,
table, and so on. But And so that was my mom was definitely one of my biggest help in trying to school. And again, definitely there came to a point too where my parents' education was, it could only help me so far. There were
Yes,
because we talked about being like the first generation here from immigrants family, or being the first to go to college. There is also comes to a point where you also have to your world opens up. You have to
correct.
seek new help, and that's
Mm-hmm.
also too what I seem to understand is that as you grow up, as
Mm-hmm.
you grow and understand more about the world, the different
Yes,
what you learn, your world opens up. And, that's I think that's probably the simplest way to put it. So fast forward to when it came to when I first started going to college, you know you don't know what you want to do for a living. You don't or what you want to be as what it means to be an adult.
yes.
So the first thing I thought of was mathematics, is
Mm-hmm.
because that was the thing that I seemed to have a knack for. But still, I think there was still something missing because I didn't know how to apply it. I was good at solving problems. I was good at taking the test and stuff like that, but I didn't know really what can you do with it. So
Yes.
and so if it helps to anybody who was worried about being indecisive, believe me, I probably switched from math to aerospace engineering for a brief moment, but then I knew it was still something in the engineering field was where I felt most comfortable. And then
Yes.
I think that's the beauty of the STEM, is that maybe you do switch your career path, but because the principle of it, the logic, how to you have a little bit more flexibility in switching subjects. For me, at least, that's what it came to. So when I finally went to CSUN, I did electrical engineering, as I mentioned before. But again, my I graduated barely, by the skin of my teeth. And so I realized too what areas I struggled with was a lot of the theory. So in the lab, I loved it. It's like being able to work with this circuits, just what Daniela had said too. That was sometimes you find a lot of enjoyment in that too. So that's why when I did my master's, I wanted to do something a lot more hands-on, and that's
Yes.
where manufacturing systems engineering came along. And so I think after that change too, I was a lot happier. I was a lot more comfortable in doing, and at least I had something, an idea. It's like, yeah, this I could see myself doing this, for my career and such.
Wow. Guys, the story is so interesting. I was so glued. I don't know about you guys. You guys, leave a comment, say something out there. Oh my God. Jen, you said so many things that actually relates, to me. Most of the time, people think engineering, you have to be all that genius that you're gonna make the whole moon. I don't know, I don't know how they perceive that. But for me, I also had challenges, that I faced. I had to make sure I go see a tutor. I went to see the tutor. Some of these things we have to share them so that people know that it's not all roses. Just like you, the same situations you go through in other classes, same with engineering. You may not understand the class, you can still go see a tutor, or you can go see whoever you need to get help from, so that you can pursue and complete. So the most important thing is to be determined. I was determined. I kept my head high, even when it was just so hard. I just put my foot in there. I said, I have to know this. And the other thing I have learned, Chen, is I always share with people this. Whenever I have to remember or memorize something, I have to say it 6 times. I don't know if you guys use this, whatever you do. Chen was telling us how he was counting those beans for some time. Like, it's a lesson that helped, understand how you can understand things after you do them all over, more and more. And in math, you just have to do that. It doesn't matter. There are some people who are exceptional. They'll just work the problem once and they are good. But there are certain problems that are just so difficult. You need to practice them so many times. So my key was to go through something like 6 times. Even citing it 6 times, that's it. I have it. I will remember it for a long time. So I don't know, guys, try that. If you can, it might work for you.
I think.
Well,
Oh, sorry.
uh-huh.
I was going to say
No,
you hit
go
the
ahead.
nail on the head, Kirsten, because definitely, having that positive attitude and that determination. I think that's the first step in it, because um, definitely there's when we're going to school, there's times where it seems like it's a never ending tunnel, or you're balancing
I never
school
thought it was
school
going to end.
work. Yeah, you're working at the same time too, and you're like,
Yes.
how do I ever find the time for this? But it definitely starts with just you don't give up. Have that determination. And you mentioned another thing too, that before I forget too, is
Yes.
being able to know to ask for help, know to resources. We live in an age where you can digitize your notes, you can share easily notes too.
Yes.
And on we have resources like YouTube, where you have a bunch of people too. If you don't understand a subject like integrated circuits, because maybe the teacher didn't explain it in a way you understand it too, you can probably find like the same subject online. Maybe someone else can explain it somewhere else that breaks it down. So we're definitely living in an age where that kind of technology is make things a lot more easier. It doesn't make the work that you do any more easier, or any more or downplays it, but we do have like these resources. So I definitely, that's a great point that you brought up.
Wow. And talk about networking. Um, share with our viewers how to be sociable to people around you. How important is it in engineering to be able to, first, I want to say this. Each of us in engineering, in scientists, technologists, we have unique talent that God gave us, right? So
Absolutely.
that talent we all have in a different way. That's why we need to try and mingle, talk to people around you, because most people they just go straight work and they go, or maybe they in class they just go to class and do. Talk about why is it important to be able to network with people around you.
Sure, absolutely. Because I think the most maybe obvious answer is you could be the sharpest tool in the shed, but if you're not able to convey your message or your ideas, in an easy understand way, we're all here because we're a team, and so it's all the more important that we're able to communicate and effectively with others, especially if you're if you have a goal that you're trying to to go with this. So and that's another thing too, actually, and thank you for reminding me on my career.
Mhm.
One of the most important classes I actually took was not a STEM class, but it did
Mhm.
help. It
Mhm.
was one was writing class in composition, and the other was speech. So
Mhm.
believe me, before I was definitely a wallflower. I could not look at someone to talk to, but it's something that it's something you definitely have to get comfortable with, and you
Yes.
find out that you have a knack for it. So
Mhm.
definitely you want to associate yourself and practice with like the other people's like talk show hosts, or
Yes.
or like an article that was really well written or something like that. Just understand,
Mhm.
like, how do you get the words in a way that really it catches people's attention. So, and when you're talking about networking too, that's at least how do you make your works stand out. You could um, I try to tell as many youths as I can about this. Is like, if you're considering something in STEM, is always keep a record, a portfolio of all the projects you worked. It doesn't matter how silly it may seem to you, but as long as you're passionate about it, as long as you learn something about it, this is what you want to show to, like, people, especially when you're networking, because they're like, wow,
Yes.
this person really learned something out of it, and
Mhm.
they got out of it. But in order to show them that what you got out of it, you definitely need to be able to network, to be able to present present yourself and present your ideas. So Definitely. That's, I think, being in a STEM major, that's something you also have to be able to expect and be able to at least, be somewhat proficient in.
Wow, wow. You nailed it. Guys, being a scientist, an engineer, or technologist, and you can couple it with expressing yourself, you are a bullet, guys. So make sure you can communicate, make sure you can express yourself, because even when you are put in management or whatever, when they see that you can express your idea, either in written or on just expressing yourself, you are a bullet. They will want you, guys. So make sure you can couple those two, and very good tools. Oh my God, Chen, you are just you've explained so many good stories, so many good points. I really appreciate. So Chen, now that you are at this level where you are, what would you say to a girl or a boy growing up who's about 5 years, 6 years old? When you look at them, how can you encourage them to pursue STEM?
So STEM is definitely like a path that's, for especially for them, it's not something they first consider. But when you become a STEM major, you really see the world in a different way. You're able to diagnose and break down problems in a logical manner. So what I want to say is that, if you ever had that curiosity of, even for a moment, how something worked, or you wanted to know something about how the world worked, don't don't lose that curiosity. Doesn't matter what other people say. It's like, oh, just that's the way it is, or just look it up online. Yeah, you go look it up online, but you know but keep that curiosity, keep that passion. It's goes back to your earlier point about that having that positive attitude. It's just, if you can hold that curiosity, I think it's definitely STEM is something definitely worth considering. It may be hard. It definitely will be hard. I stand corrected. It will be hard, and there may be times when you're maybe like the only person that has an idea of what to do next. Like in my case, my family was, my parents, they didn't finish all their entire schooling to college. So there was parts where I had to rely on myself to go out to find other resources to help myself. But it's definitely no less rewarding than any other majors. It's something that I found that really helps define myself, helps express myself. It's something, definitely. I think it's worth looking for. It's being a STEM major.
Wow, wow. Guys, you heard it. That's right. It's one of the best majors. It has advantages that we can put for another time, guys. So make sure you can venture into that. Thank you so much, Chen. We hope to see you again. I really do appreciate your story. Was amazing. I was glued to it. Thank you so much. Hope to see you soon.
Kirsten, thank you so much. I appreciate all your work on this.
Thank you. Guys, I was Chen. I was, so glad to have him. He's working right now, so he just had time to come and hang with us. And he's an engineer as well. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Guys, I have another guest for you. I'm so excited. Her name is Florence Mlenga. Florence, are you ready? Let us know if you are ready so you can come up. So, guys, we are here to encourage girls pursue STEM, science, and technology, and we're here to showcase these scientists. So let's have Florence. Hi, Florence. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm so excited. Finally, I have you. You have come to my show.
I was so excited as well. I was like, I have to go because we've had this
I was
conversation
not
for.
gonna let you. I was not gonna let you off the hook. I was gonna keep pushing. Guys, Florence, she's from Zambia. She's a pharmacist. She's going to tell us more. I don't want to preempt. She's in STEM. She's a very staunch advocate for STEM. So she's gonna share with us. I'm so excited. She's a very busy person, and I managed to pull her here. So Florence, would you mind introducing yourself? And feel free to share with us. We are so glued, thirsty for the knowledge, for all the exciting things that you have. Please share with us. Yes, introduce yourself, Florence.
All right, thank you so much. My name's Florence Jedediah Mlenga, and I'm from the University of Zambia. I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree in pharmacy, and I'm also an award-winning innovator. I've innovated something
Yes.
and received a couple of awards for it. So yes, and I'm also the programs officer for the Zambia National STEM Foundation.
Yes, 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 yes. Oh, thank you so much for having you. So, Florence, I always ask my viewers this question. The reason why I will always explain this, each person is unique. Each person, how they navigated STEM is unique. So, I would like to hear from you. How did your story start about STEM? Where did it start from?
Well, that's a very good question because I've been asked that question a number of times, and when you were asking the previous people that you were interviewing, I got to
Yes,
listen to their story, and for me, it was the authenticity that came out in them on how they actually started, and I
yes,
decided to be like, okay, let me be honest with myself and see exactly how
yes.
it was. And I remember that it actually started by me opening a biology textbook, like it was a grade 10
Wow.
biology textbook. I
Yes.
opened it and I was like, you know what, Florence? What if you could read this book from the beginning to the end? I think that
Ah,
would be great for exams, right? I was
yes,
telling
yes,
myself that. And I was like, well, let's give it a try. And I was so glued. I was glued to it like it was a novel. I was so interested in it. So for me, a passion in STEM had developed from there. And then also sitting next to my friend, my best friend, she
Mhm.
was so sure that she wanted to become a medical doctor, a pediatrician, by the
And
way, as a first.
how old were you, Florence?
I was like, how old was I in grade 10? Okay, in 2014, I was 15. And
Yes,
2014, I did my grade 12. So 2013, I think I was like, I must have been 13. Yeah.
yes. Wow. Yes,
Yeah. So like I was 13 and I just realized my passion. I'm like, okay, I think let me go for it. And the person that I was seated next to really helped out because she was so passionate about medicine. And I was like, this girl is so sure about what she wants. Anyway, let me check out what she wants. Maybe I would want what she wants.
yes.
So I
Why
decided
not? Yes,
I decided to find out why she's so interested in what she was interested about. And I became interested, that just like what you're doing on this show,
yes,
um, inspiring people to be interested in these STEM related fields. So that's how I decided, okay, fine, let me try to pursue something in science. So yeah, I just became interested by just opening that book. And also, it was also influenced by the girl I was seated next to, and also my aunt who did pharmacy. She knew
yes,
everything about medicines, and that intrigued me. I was so interested in knowing exactly how one small molecule is
yes.
able to you are a whole human being. For me, that was interesting.
Wow, wow. That's interesting. Oh my goodness. Wow. So after that, now, then you started going. You were in grade. You went to high school, and then what other challenges did you face as you now decided to pursue STEM finally?
During high school?
Yes.
Uh, During high school, the challenges were, I'd have to think. For me, okay, it wasn't challenging because I was at an all-girls school and
Okay.
few girls were actually interested in science. So for
Yes.
me, that like made me a little bit different from a lot of people. So for
Mhm.
me, that that feeling of feeling different felt
Yes.
amazing to me. So for me, it wasn't challenging. I think maybe the challenging part would be having to figure out certain things on your own
Yes.
because you know how government schools are here. I don't know if you know about that.
Yes. I
Sometimes the teacher won't come to class and then you
Mhm.
have to figure out what you're going to study for your exams.
Yes.
So was quite challenging because I had to figure that out on my own. I
Yeah.
had to look for textbooks to teach myself. But
Resources, yes.
yeah, but I felt that that helped me grow and made me like someone who can be like a fighter on their own, like someone who can even survive university because you're capable of finding material for yourself. So
And you
yeah.
know what, Florence, what you're saying is very true, because even here, even if there are resources, you have to know what resource you want, right? You can't just because there are resources, it's not going to come on your table and say, oh, here is physics book that concerns your test.
Yeah.
You have to go look for it. You have to know what to look for, what to search for. So it's
Yeah.
almost the same thing, and it's that drive that I always admire about you scientists and engineers. That drive in you that keeps you, trying to fighting to get what you want. Wow, that's interesting. So now, finally, you went to the university, right? And are you still there, or you have completed?
I'm still there.
Wow, when are you completing?
Next year.
Wow. Guys, Florence is amazing. So would you share with us how you have invented something? Because some people wonder how you're still a student, you have that brain to still invent something or think about it. How did it start? I'll let you share with my viewers.
All right, thank you so much. So it started when a certain girl came to. Let me just mention her name because she's actually one of my role models. So
Yes.
her name is Godfrida. So she came to talk to us about how she's an ambassador for Southern African Network for Biosciences, and she talked to us about how she won a competition where she talked about creating a transdermal patch. I don't know if you know what a transdermal patch is. Where
No.
like you put like the patch on your skin, and it distributes medicine into your body.
Okay.
Yes, like it continuously releases medicine into your body until you remove it, you discontinue. So she wanted to do that for the antiretroviral drugs, which are for HIV, so that sad patients don't have to forget what time they have to drink their medicine because they drink their medicine every day. And then she wanted the patch to be waterproof, so you could actually swim with it or it, and you could put it like on your back, and no one will have to see that. No one will have to stigmatize you and stuff. And it was a really, really good project. So you would find that she won the whole country. She won that competition.
Wow.
In Zambia, and she went to South Africa. She won in South Africa as well, and she was sponsored to go to Finland. So yeah, so for me, I found that really exciting that she was having impact on society, and while having impact, she was traveling. So for me, that was really exciting, and I was like, I'm
Me,
going
I
to
love traveling.
yeah. So I was like, I'm definitely going to sign up for this. So I signed up, but then when signing up, you obviously need an idea that's going to have impact in your community. So I looked around me, and I saw something that was affecting my friends and family members, and I realized that the most common thing was asthma. So I'm trying to fix the camera. I don't know if it's in the right position, but yeah. So
It's
yeah,
a
so
little
most of
bit busy, but your story is interesting.
Oh, okay, all right. Let me try to like put it somewhere where it will
Sure,
be.
take your time. Take your time. We can't wait. We are thirsty for the story. Yes,
All
when
right.
it's not stable,
That's
it's more
yeah. So that's how
definitive.
most of them were like, some of them were asthmatic and stuff. So I was like, okay, let me try to think of like in terms of asthma, why is it that's causing people to go into an asthmatic an asthmatic attack? So I was like, it's mostly because something in the environment has triggered the attack. So I was like, okay, why design something that they continuously inhale so that it stabilizes their lungs? Because, in an asthmatic attack, your lungs go under constriction. So I was like, what if you had something that just kept your lungs stable the whole time, even if you encountered an allergy in the environment?
That's
So
a deep thought, Florence. That's not easy for someone to just think like that. Do you understand that?
yes, it's not. I just realized when it got attention on social media. Yeah, so that's how I applied with an idea of creating a deodorant, because deodorant is the only thing that we constantly inhale, to the point that you don't even remember that you put perfume on, but other people can smell it on you. So
Yeah.
if you're inhaling it inside, it's keeping your lungs stable. So that
Yes.
was my idea, and I applied with it, and our applications were sent to SA South Africa, and they got to pick about 15 students in the
Yes.
whole country. And amongst those 15 students, we had to compete. People had great ideas, amazing ideas. Like up to now, I'm just blown away at how girls in my country are thinking. I was just
Yes.
like, wow, if only we could just give them a platform, to express themselves,
Wow.
have the
That's
ideas turn into
interesting. Yes.
reality. Yeah, so that's how I decided, okay, yeah, I applied, and then I got picked among the 15 girls. We competed and I won phase one, first of all. And I didn't even get to finish presenting my idea by the way. So I was just like, it was just the
Yes.
grace of God. So I made
Yes.
it to phase two. But then during phase two, they said those who were really, really good in phase one will go and compete, first of all, for another competition at the
Yes.
Zambia Entrepreneurship Summit. So I went to the Zambia Entrepreneurship Summit, competed there. I won that summit, which was
Wow.
really yes. And then we went back to the other competition. Then I won phase three, which was the final phase, and we got to be sponsored to go to like South Africa and attend the Africa Women Empowerment Innovation. Wait, Africa Empowerment and Innovation Forum. I hope I'm not mistaken. AWIF in South Africa. Everything was paid for, and it was amazing. You get to meet women who are doing amazing things, and you get to be inspired. You're not just like in a box where you think you're the best. You go
Yes.
out there, realize that there are people doing amazing things, people who have amazing stories. So you get
Correct.
to be inspired to do great things as well. So when we came back from SA, I just found myself on social media, like everybody was talking about my story. I was like, God, what? I remember being on a bus and someone was like, you look like a girl on the newspaper. I was like, for real? I don't even know her, but it was me. It was like, but
Yes.
yeah, I thought at the end that it was me. So yeah, it was really exciting. First of all, when your story is known, like fame does come with privileges, but it also comes with disadvantages. There's
Yes.
cyberbullying,
Mm-hmm.
but then I focus on the positive side,
The
which is the
positive
doors
side.
that it has opened for me. I couldn't be speaking to you right now if you didn't hear about me. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so people heard about me. Later on, the Pharmaceutical Society of Zambia heard about me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, um, I was awarded as the youngest, I was awarded as the Young Pharmaceutical Innovator of the Year 2020, and I was the
Yes.
first student to ever receive that award by the Pharmaceutical Society of Zambia. And
Mm-hmm.
then just a few days later, I was awarded by the government of the Republic of Zambia under the National Youth Development Council in
Yes.
partnership with the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Ministry of higher education.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
later on this year, I was awarded by, funny enough, the Economics Association of Zambia, which is weird because of economics.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the Economics Association of Zambia, and then later on, I was awarded for I was listed as the top 30 under 30
Yes.
Zambian future of Zambia. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the list goes on. But yeah.
Wow, wow. So when do we expect, you are still working on it? When do we expect to see this product? Yeah, roughly, would you mind sharing with us?
Okay, so I like how you mentioned the fact that in the US you guys have like resources available and stuff. Here it's crazy. It's really crazy, man. Like you really have to fight to actually, do experiments and all that. So
Yes.
I decided rather than stress myself mentally, because I mean
Mm-hmm.
my mental health is important as well. I
Yes,
would rather like take it up for my masters, which will be done
correct.
abroad,
Yes,
hopefully, where there are
yes.
resources. I'm not trying to downgrade my country, like we're doing amazing
No,
things, we're
of
still
course,
growing
no.
up.
No, no,
Yeah,
because
but
even me, I went to school there, but here I am, appreciate what I learned from there, and that's why I'm here. So yes.
yeah, exactly. So it's just that resources are very difficult to find,
Yes,
and it's
true, true.
very hard for you to like progress in your your experiments and all that stuff. So it's very, very difficult. You need to you need like a whole pharmaceutical industry to carry out something successfully. And I would prefer that there's a whole pharmaceutical industry that has everything to actually help me. Even like their staff should be
Yes.
able to impart knowledge in me and be like, okay, you know what, we could go in this direction, you know. I'm
Yes.
thinking that maybe we add chemical A to chemical B instead of
Yes.
the other way around. I think it will work faster that way to target the receptors. So you're just like, yeah, you know, because I'm young and I obviously don't know everything, so I would need that
Yes.
guidance. So yeah,
Mhm.
for me, that's exactly what I would prefer to take it up for my master's.
Yeah, and I hope I have quite a lot of engineers here, guys who are in medicine, pharmacy. If you are hearing Florence Mlenga's story, you know, share it among so we can support her, how whatever we can do so she can make it and give us that product we are really, really need. There are so many patients who would love to have it, so many people. So I hope someone is listening somehow somewhere there, whatever need she may need. We never know, but this is Florence Menga from Zambia. She's still a student, very young, still pursuing pharmaceutical. How do you say, pharmacist or pharmaceutical?
Pharmacy. Pharmacy.
Wow. Thank you so much, Florence, for sharing that. So, Florence, I know you're a STEM advocate, a staunch one. So, how do you encourage girls to pursue STEM? What would you say to a girl growing up right now? I know you're still a student, but what would you say to a girl growing up in STEM, trying to pursue STEM?
Okay. So what I can say is don't be afraid. Like I've had people tell me, like I just feel math is hard. Math is for guys because this thing is just not for girls. We are
Mhm.
just not made like that. That is a lie
Mhm.
because your brain is neither female nor
Mhm.
male.
Yes,
Your
correct.
brain is just a brain, and
Mhm.
whatever you tell it to do, it will do. If you command it and say this is for guys, it's going to believe you and say definitely this is for guys, it is not for you. But if
Yes.
you tell it that brain, we're
Mhm.
neither female nor male here, we're here
Yes.
to do the job, we are competent enough,
Mhm.
then your brain will automatically say, whatever it takes, I need to understand what I am studying. When you get your book, when you're doing your math, you're doing your science. Let me focus first on math.
Yes.
Practice. Be
Mhm.
practical about it. Practice, practice. If it's math, I used to practice math every day. I knew
Mhm.
that I'm not just going to pursue math like the whole entire of my whole life. I'm not like going to do engineering or anything. But I knew that I needed math to get to where I wanted to be. So I
Yes.
started practicing because I knew that practice makes perfect. Even
Yes.
if you're the last person in your class, you get the lowest grades. But if you just decide to practice, let's say math for even just 15 minutes a day, that's one thing my
Mhm.
mom always used to tell me, you
Yes.
would definitely be at the top. It doesn't even take time. And when you're stuck on something, ask for help.
Yes.
Like don't just sit there and be, no, I don't want to talk.
Tormented.
I'm not a people person. If trust me, if you have that mentality, you're not going to go anywhere in life. You need
Mm.
people to survive. In Africa, we believe in Ubuntu. Ubuntu means I
Yes.
cannot be where I am without you. You need
Mhm.
people to where you are. So definitely this interview, I would not have been here if it was not for you. And you would
Mhm.
not have had me if it wasn't for me. So like we
Yes.
need that in life.
Each
So if you're
other.
stuck in something in math, in science, whatever, don't just sit there and scratch your head and just be stressed. No, there's always someone who knows what you're stuck on. Go and approach that lecturer, go and approach that teacher, go and approach that fellow student. And trust
Mhm.
me, you'll be a step further than you were seated on your own trying to figure things out. But of course, first of all, try to figure it out on your own. Then when you fail, that's when you're someone. Unlike finding it in the exam and then now you're just like, oh my gosh, now I don't know what to do. Figure
Mhm.
it before exam. So don't be afraid. Your brain is neither male or female. Go ahead and fight fight, you know. Don't be scared of anything. You can do anything you set your mind to. Look at Elon Musk already wanting to go to Mars. Has
Yes.
any of us ever thought of that? You know, but he believes so much in himself to the point that he's made us also believe in his dream. So it's
Yes.
just about making people believe in you, because if you don't
Just
believe in
like
yourself,
we are believing in your dream that you are inventing, girl, you are a bullet.
yeah, so that's about it. That's my advice.
Wow, wow. Florence, you are amazing. Thank you so much. And guys, remember what I said? I said when you meet a scientist or an engineer who can express herself, and Florence is that one. You can see how, guys, she can express herself, talk about her product very well, and also the advice that she has given us as girls, guys. There is nothing that we cannot do. We can do anything just like the guys. So all you need is determination. Even me, when I was at school, all I did was just even if it's hard, I said, okay, let me be patient. Don't throw in the towel right away. So try to stick it in and say, okay, let me wait for tomorrow. Let me put this problem again and deal with it tomorrow. Why? Determination. In the end, you'll be like, wow, I found it. Or maybe you ask someone, oh, it's that easy. So you keep moving, things like that. Wow, Florence, thank you so much. So, Florence, what are you up to? What exactly do you want to major into when you finish your pharmacist? Does it have different career opportunities in pharmacist? Or what do you want to do? You want to be a researcher, or what do you want to be?
You know, I can tell you one thing for sure. You know, today I could tell you that I probably want to be the Director General of the World Health Organization. I probably want to pursue my
It's
master's
good
in
to
this.
dream. It's good to dream.
Yeah, it's really good. But then, like, to be honest with you, it's really difficult to pinpoint exactly where you want to be, especially when you're young. Your mind is all over the place. You're like
Yes.
confused. You want so many things. You want so many things to be done. But I think my honest answer would be whatever it is I'm going to end up doing, it should be able to impact people. It should be able to impact lives, especially financially, spiritually, and academically. If I can to a point where I get to help people, like
Mhm.
maybe my innovation actually goes through. For me, that's
Yes.
impact. I'm having impact on your health, like whatever it is. I just want it to have impact on millions of lives, not just thousands, but millions. You know,
Yes.
because even when you're dying in peace, because you know that I've left the world with impact. I've changed someone's life. So
Yes.
yeah, for me, it's just about impact. Honestly, yeah, I do have dreams and ambitions and whatnot, but whatever I'm going to end up doing, it should definitely have impact over millions of lives.
Wow. I was listening to the radio last night. A woman from Nicaragua. She's living in exile because of what's happening there in Nicaragua. Is it Nicaragua, something like that? So she said something that really hit me. Since I do bring people here, I encourage girls to pursue science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And you just mentioned that, before we die, we have a very short life, guys, here on earth, less than 100 years on average, less than 70, 80, depending on how your life is, how God has put your mark on your head. But guys, we have a short life, but we need to make sure that we can impact our next generation. We can leave a legacy. We can change people's lives. What are you doing in your life? How are you changing people's lives? How are you making lives better? We all have that opportunity, and that's what Florence is talking about here. So what she's passionate about is to have an impact on people's lives. Scientists, engineers, we want to make this world a better place, to change people's lives, to make them better. So, and our invention is that, most people, they have asthma, and they, sometimes it's hard to they have to keep puffing. I remember at school, where our friend had asthma. She has an attack, it's coming, and then she's telling me, I remember we're in the sick bay, and then she's telling me, Kirsten, please, can you get my medicine from the bag? I'm like, where is it? And then she's literally going off. I'm like, I'm so scared. I'm looking where she can't talk properly. So I had to go look for it, and finally I found it. I puffed her myself in the mouth. You can imagine. But what Florence is trying to do is that person can smell it, right, Florence? She can smell it while she has it already. So she may not even go into an attack, right?
Yes.
Wow, that would really change people's lives, guys. So, that's some of the things that we need to, to impact people's lives, to change people's lives. Wow, Florence, thank you so much, Florence. Would like to have you again, Florence. I'll still come and drag you. I know you're so busy. You're still doing school, and pharmacy is very, very hard. I remember hearing that. I wonder how you guys put through, but I'll still call you to see how you're doing and just to keep in touch so you can share something with our viewers. Hope you can come again.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor. To me, I believe that each and every interview, there's at least one person who has been impacted and their lives have been changed, or even more than one. It could be a lot of people. But to me, what matters is that I've shared my story and people have gotten inspired. And I'm just so grateful that you've offered me such a platform to get to reach out to someone out there or people out there. Thank you so much. I'm grateful. Whenever you need me, just let me know. And what you're doing here is really amazing. It's changing lives. Please don't stop. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. I really feel emotional right now. I really do appreciate. I hope I can impact people around there, the mothers, guardians, kids. Guys, you need to learn about these scientists. They're doing amazing. We don't know where Florence is going to be next time, guys. You have to say, "Oh, I was with Florence. I know that girl." Guys, make sure you can call people around, encourage other people to come listen to this show. Thank you so much. Thank you, Florence. I really do appreciate. I know you have many, many things to do, but you came here. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I really do appreciate. Thank you for coming, and I hope you enjoyed the show. See you next Saturday, guys. We always have very good and great guests. Thank you, guys, and bon voyage.